It ain't that purple mountain's majesty. It ain't the fruited plain. It ain't that shimmering sunset out on amber waves of grain.
It's the shoulders of people from 1,000 lands who showed up with nothing but dreams in their hands and built something beautiful. Yeah, they still make it beautiful.
You can say what you want, you can throw stones, but on her worst day, it's still home sweet home. You can't kill the idea that put its roots deep down in dust and blood.
Done a whole lot of bending, but you can't make her break. Hello, high water, that flag's gonna wave. If you wanna know what keeps this crazy thing standing up, it's the United States of America.
We've got our share of scoundrels, outlaws and clowns, cowboys and preachers, love one-horse towns, big city white-collar, bright lights and big shiny cars.
We've got farmers on tractors that keep us all fed. The north and the south, the blue and the red, they make something beautiful. Man, those colors are beautiful.
You can say what you want, you can throw stones, but on her worst day, it's still home sweet home. You can't kill the idea that put its roots deep down in dust and blood.
Done a whole lot of bending, but you can't make her break. Hello, high water, that flag's gonna wave. If you wanna know what keeps this crazy thing standing up, it's the United States
Of America. From the Bible belt buckle to the streets with no church, it's hard to explain it, but somehow it works.
And I dare you to find me a soldier more brave than the ones who salute stars and stripes every day.
You can say what you want,
You can throw stones,
but on the worst day,
it's still home sweet home.
you can't kill the idea
They put its roots deep down in dust and blood. Done a whole lot of bending, but you can't make her break.
hell or high water, the flag's gonna wave.
If you wanna know what keeps this crazy thing standing up,
Yeah, if you wanna know what keeps this crazy thing standing up,
Top of the evening, everybody, on this Thursday night, the second day of July, just a couple of days away from the 250th anniversary of the greatest country in America, the United States of America. And what a way to celebrate it on this Thursday night. So good to have my dear friend, Tony Branco. He has become a regular on our show. We try to get him on once a month, and buddy, it's so good to see you tonight. And, you know, tonight's a sort of special night. We're about to celebrate 250 years, I believe, of the greatest country in the world. And I don't think I could think of anybody better than you, to be honest with you, to talk with us about. And we got some great guests. It's nothing against them, but it's good to see you tonight. And I've always loved your cartoons, and just a friendship has grown through the years. And it's always good to see you, man. Good to see you tonight. I can't hear you. Lost your sound there.
I was just going to say thank you for that great introduction. I feel honored. It's a privilege to be here with you, tomfoolery.
Well, I was telling Branco today we need a new cartoon. You know, Dumbfoolery, we have retired officially. We're trying not to be rude and offensive to the dumb fools out there. But, but I'm just saying, now it's the cowboy hat, and for all the groupies out there, which is about 3 of them, and they can only watch the show at 9 because the nursing home shuts down at 9:30. So that's we need a cartoon for them. So I'm just saying that's my fan club. But
I'm jealous. You have 2 more than I do.
Yeah, well, you know, Rodney Dangerfield, he said he had a fan club of 3, but the other guy died or something like that. So me, myself, and I. But anyway, we learned to laugh at ourselves through the years. This has been a good run, and still have fun doing it. And as long as I got fun doing it, the Lord keeps cameras on and the lights on, we're going to do this. We need to fight for America tonight, man. Look, I'm bringing you on tonight, and I don't think there's ever been a July 4th celebration, and just to be honest with you, that we have had where we are fighting an internal enemy for our freedom like we are on this July 4th, 2026. And ironically, again, this is a unique July 4th Saturday, Tony, because it is the 250th anniversary. Look, I remember just 50 years ago, I was in the 5th grade when we celebrated the 200th, and we had a spring presentation, and I was George Washington. The hair is still white, just like George's was in his pictures. But, you know, back in 76, things were bad. We were about to enter the Carter years, which turned out to be a disaster for this country. But there was still, despite everything with Carter, we just didn't have the threat of inwardly. We had external threats in the 70s, but we didn't have an internal threat. At least I didn't think we did. I was, you know, again, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and maybe I didn't pick up on it as much then as I maybe would have now. But if you think about it, the country was sane, okay? It was at least sane. But we have gone insane, and I could add a few vernaculars to that tonight after 50 years later as we're celebrating this 250. And there are some of these Democrats, and if the Democrat Party has sold out, if they want to sell out the way they've done to this communist bloc, Tony, all I can tell them is far be it from me to stop the destruction of their party, because it is going to blow their party up. I hope it does. I pray it does. I pray we're not stupid enough to put these insane people in power. What say you, man?
Well, I think you're right. The Democrat Party has gone over the edge. It's been co-opted by the communists and by the Islamists. And I don't think majority of the Americans, at least I hope not, are ready for that. And what they're doing, and it's been spoken about, is they're driving more and more people over to the right or over to the conservative party. And I hope that's true. That one of the reasons they have to do what they do as far as allowing illegal immigrants to pour into this country and be able to get them on the voting rolls, the reason they have to do mail-in voting and they have to do all their voting shenanigans is because they're on the 20 side of every 2080 issue, and the conservatives are on the 80 side of it. You look at every issue, whether it mail-in voting or the SAVE Act. Majority of all Americans and Democrats want that to go through because they don't want people that don't belong here voting. They're on the wrong side of the law as far as criminals go. I'll just give you an example. I'm working on a cartoon, right? I told you earlier
Yeah.
when we started that I was working on a cartoon, and the cartoon is about Governor Walz in Minnesota just pardoned
Come on.
a rapist,
Come on.
of a 10-year-old kid. And he pardoned him. And the reason he pardoned him was because the guy was an illegal immigrant. And if he was criminally prosecuted, it would interfere with him being able to stay here. And so he and Ellison pardoned him, which is just an atrocity. I mean, what does Jesus say about that?
Put a
You know,
stone
and
around
this-
your neck and you're going to
Yeah.
be cast into the sea. It'd be better for you to
Yeah.
have a stone cast around your neck.
Better for you to be cast
Exactly.
into the depths of the ocean and drowned. So meaning I took that as meaning that when judgment comes, worse than that is coming for you. Worse than a millstone around your neck being drowned. So the depravity that's coming from the Democrat Party, I hope it's seeping into the population, because there are a lot of Democrats that have turned a blind eye, that vote Democrat just because they think that's what they're supposed to do, and they're probably decent people. But it's up to us to keep that message going and to get more people, to get these people out. That's my personal opinion. I think that the Democrats, although like Akeem Jeffries and people like that, they may not be as bad as what's coming as far as the people that are co-opting the Democrat Party, but they've been complicit in allowing it to happen.
Thank you.
Pelosi, all of them.
I love them.
They're complicit. They've allowed it to happen because they were afraid to stand up to them. They didn't want to lose them as voters. They didn't want to lose them as constituents. And they've created this. The Bill Maher's out there, they created this. All of the Democrats who are somewhat normal, they created this, even though they're complaining about it. I think
Come on, buddy.
complicit.
Come on. No, it's totally well. And they're a bunch of hypocrites. They're a bunch of
Absolutely.
godless, spineless hypocrites. They created this monster. The Trump derangement syndrome has been raging in their heart since 2016. And, I was just sitting there thinking as you were talking, they're not going to have Trump as a punching bag, Tony, in 28. I hate to tell these people, all these people claiming they're trying to save the country from Trump. Well, Trump ain't going to be here but another couple of years. And I hate to tell them, and I believe that the chances of us winning these midterms, it basically exploded Tuesday night and the last couple of Tuesday nights when these radical Dems got elected. And I think, I'm hoping I'm right. I'm sort of like you. I'm hoping I'm right about this, that common sense people out there on the right and maybe a few moderate left is going to look at this, because I'm seeing more and more of this on X, that Democrats are saying, look, I'm leaving my party. I'm not going to embrace this stuff. I'm going Republican.
They just stay home and don't vote.
And they don't, which is basically a vote for the Republicans, because I hope this fires our base up. What concerns me is that I don't know what it is about the right. When we are handed these victories like on a platter, we have a way of screwing it up. We just have a way of screwing things up and not voting and thinking that we can lay down, throw our hat in the ring, and everybody's going to it's going to be good. No, we got to fight, and we've got to vote, and we've got to go out and do our part. And if we don't, these radicals are going to take power. And bro, let me tell you something. Ain't none of us going to be safe then. I mean, as the Bible said also, that there ain't going to be room in the rocks to hide because they're coming after conservatives, but I really believe it's more Christians. I think they want to eradicate any Judeo-Christian principles on this landscape and turn this nation into Sodom and Gomorrah, turn this nation into a godless empire. And Tony, when they do that, God's wrath is coming. I mean, look, they're going to leave God with no choice but to move in a judgmental way, because we are a nation. But I want to go back to something you said about Waltz. We got into the discussion, I think it was Tuesday night, and it was very intense. It may have been Monday night, actually. There's a movie out called Citizen Vigilante. I've actually had some folks email me about it this week. I watched
saw
it.
it.
I did. I watched it, and it was a very graphic movie. I'm not gonna. I would not advise people to watch it with their kids. This is not something you need the kids around to see.
Yeah.
As I was watching it, it struck me, and again, I don't want a society with citizens taking the law into their own hands. We cannot afford that. But I saw in this movie the anger, because this was a European movie. I want to let people know this movie is basically this guy that made it, Uwe Boll. He basically is European, and he's ticked off about the gang rapes that were going on in Britain, that the judges were letting these people go and not having justice. So he basically he makes this character that's going around and taking justice in his own hand, not just with the criminals, but the judges. And I hear what Waltz did this morning, and it grieved me. But I'm going to tell you what it did. It sent a red flag up in my heart that, Tony, if this stuff keeps happening with these leaders, bro, we're going to have anarchy in the streets, and we are facing a civil war. Is what we're facing, and I don't want that. And I tell our people every night, we don't want to see that here. But they're leaving us, Tony, with no choice if this keeps happening. Are they not?
We may win the Civil War, but the Civil War plays into the left's hands because
it does.
Will cause our anarchy. It will cause economic ruin, which is what they want anyway. So if they can create a civil war out of this, they think it's in their advantage, even if they were to lose it. I agree with you 100%. I watched the movie. I had my feelings are bifurcated somewhat because I don't want, like you, I don't want to see that happen. But at the same time, the movie explains the rage that people are having. And these people, these leaders in Europe and in the United States, are so far removed from what people, the citizens, are feeling. I don't understand it, how they can be that far removed from what the people want. I understand it more in Europe because they have a different system, and they've gone off the rocker as far as what they're allowing to happen. But in the United States, we're more of a democratic republic guided by a constitution. And for these people to appease this stuff like Waltz just blows my mind that they would even. Of course, Waltz is on his way out, so he doesn't care.
He don't care. No, he don't care.
But you have too many people that are politicians that are so into destroying the United States as what it's founded on, the Constitution. They say they always pull up the Constitution when it fits their objectives, but they hate the Constitution. They hate it because it pretty much is a guide for what the government can't do to us. And it stands in the way of them being able to run roughshod right over all of our rights and herd us like cattle to the slaughter. And I know it sounds pretty harsh, but that's exactly what they're doing.
It is what they're doing. And you just want to get in Waltz's face. And if he was sitting in front of me, I would look at him and say, what you going to tell that parent of that 10-year-old? What you going to say to the 10-year-old girl itself? Yeah. I mean, what are you okay with a 10-year-old being raped? Would that be your 10-year-old daughter? Would you like that, Mr. Waltz? And you see, Tony, this is what these godless politicians and these damnable heretics and these I've got a lot of vernaculars I want to use, but I don't want my wife washing my mouth out with soap after the show, so I got to behave myself. Yeah. But no, I'm seriously, it infuriates me. It does, and again, and this is how they do it. It's like the sympathies have gone to the perpetrator. The media protects the perpetrator. The justice system protects the perpetrator. Congress protects it by not passing the SAVE Act. Because, see, when you allow illegals to vote, this is the kind of crap you get. When you allow a country to go lawless and not do something about it. Through suicidal empathy. Thank you. And I think Elon Musk even, constitutional suicide. And we're going to talk about the Supreme Court because you got a cartoon about it here in a minute. But that's where I'm leading with this. But it's like we have totally forgotten that when somebody gets raped, like a 10-year-old girl, the victim is the 10-year-old girl. I don't have to draw that in crayon for people, but it's like you have to. That's where we've gotten 200, and that's what I'm saying. Even from the time of 17, even the 50-year interval from 1976 to now, we have gone so far to that direction, man. That's a nation without morals, buddy. You get that? We got it. We don't have a nation. There's just nothing. There's no depth of depravity that we can get to once we're starting to let rapists of 10-year-olds off because the perpetrator's an illegal. Brother, that's apostasy. That is apostasy.
And it goes through everything that they do. Drag Queen Story Hour.
Thank you.
LGBTQ in schools and promoting LGBTQ and having naked people traipsing through our cities in a parade in front of children. The depravity, like you said, is just sunk to a new low that 10 years ago you never thought would ever happen or be allowed. And a lot of it just comes with whatever the conservatives want or Trump wants, they're going to pull the absolute opposite. And they, like you said, they're godless. They don't believe there's a God, so they don't think there's any accountability for any of their actions. So they just continue to do it, and they get worse. And notice it's escalating far beyond what it was 10 years ago. And every day there's something in the news about something you go, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. That's never happened before, but it just keeps escalating and escalating. It's like a criminal mind, a criminal rapist, or he starts out by just killing one person, and then his mind escalates and he's got to do more and more to feed the beast. These people are the same way. They just got to do more and more to outdo what they've done before. And it's all about destroying the United States of America. And anything that does that, whether it's releasing pedophiles, whether it's allowing 21 million people to pour into our border that have no allegiance to our country whatsoever and will never assimilate. It doesn't matter what it is, letting criminals out, being soft on it, defunding police. The list is endless with these people, and they're getting worse. And now Islamists with Sharia law are coming into our government and into our elections and are being elected. And how many of them just won the primary? All far left communists and Islamists. And I'm hoping that because of that the Republicans do well up against that.
No. Well, they can only do well if we vote. I mean, that's the key right there, buddy. I mean, that's what concerns me. I mean, I'm going to be frank with you. Look, we have been given a gift by the Democrats. We don't even realize the Democrat Party gave us a gift. But again, this Republican Party is so feckless that we'll find a way to screw it up. We will. And look, all John Thune has to do is two things right now. If he could just pass the SAVE Act, I don't care if he's got the votes or not. I think he does have the votes. I think he's got more of the votes than he think he does. And I think that he needs to bust that.
He knows he has the votes.
He knoes he has the votes. He just hates Trump.
He knows that he knows how to twist arms. He's learned this from McConnell, and he's learned this from Pelosi and Schumer and what was the other guys? The prior Democrat guy in the Senate, Harry Reid.
Harry Reid, yeah.
Harry Reid. He could twist arms left and right to get his way. Why aren't we doing it? They know they could do that, but they refuse to. And so I asked myself, why? And the only thing I can come up with is it doesn't benefit their donors.
And they hate Trump. And I hate to say it, it's hate Trump, Tony. I mean, I've never seen a man who has done more for this country be hated so much for the good that he's doing. And he can't win on either side. He's got haters on the right. He's got haters on the left. He's got a media that hates him. He's got betrayers. He's got people in his own cabinet sometimes that and even the conservative movement. I heard tonight Tucker Carlson's going to start a third party. Good luck with that, Tuck.
Yeah,
good luck with that.
Buffoon.
What a buffoon.
It's just like McCain. Remember?
Yes, same thing.
McCain ran
same thing
on his race of overturning Obamacare. He ran on it. People voted him in because he was going to overturn. And when it came down to voting against it, he didn't. He voted for it. It's this typical thing that these rhinos and these conservative, so-called conservative politicians, and they took a beating this last primary, which I was glad to see. Now, having done that, I hope that they can take over these nuts that the Democrats are voting in there, like Tallarico and how many more have just been put in there. And Mandani is that pronounce how you pronounce his name?
Mandami. Mandami.
He's a symptom. A lot of this stuff that you're seeing is a symptom of our government,
That's a great point.
of our appeasement to this, instead of doing something when we could have done something, and the Democrats doing something when they could have done something. They've appeased this. Now they've created a monster, and that monster is communism and Islamism, and they're coming together with one goal, because they're opposed to each other. Actually, fundamental Islamists and communists are opposed to each other in the fundamental ideals, but they have one major goal that overrides all of that, and that is to defeat the Constitution and the United States as it is.
Well said. I'm going to ask you a question. Going back, I've got the cartoon up with Roberts and Barrett. Here's to America's enemies. May they eat us last. Birthright citizenship. One of the worst decisions that have come down from the Supreme Court. I thought the Obamacare decision was bad. This one yesterday was beyond pathetic. We did a show last Friday night, a week ago tomorrow night, on the 45 Goals of Communism. And, of course, that book out that Alexander Sokram wrote, The Naked Communist, sort of outlined the Communist plan. If anybody's ever read Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, he sort of incorporated a little bit of that into his rules to take over a country. But one of the things that the communists set out to do was infiltrate our courts and put fascist judges on the bench, judges that do not want to uphold the Constitution. And, Tony, I'm beginning to wonder, and I might as well go and get myself in trouble tonight. These four women on the Supreme Court were nothing but DEI hires. And if I'm a future Republican president, no more women on the court. Hate to tell you. We've tried this experiment on both the right and the left. It has failed. And these women have done nothing but tear this nation to pieces. It's a Jezebel spirit. It is a spirit. I don't know what is in Amy Barrett's mind right now. I don't know what's gotten a hold of her. I think it's just a charade. I think the whole thing was a charade, and we all got played like a fiddle. Trump got played like a fiddle by McConnell to put her on that bench. She is worse to me than Kagan, Sotomayor, and Brown. I don't know who a woman is. I think Barrett is worse because she came in as a Trojan horse, making us believe that she would uphold conservative values on that court, and she's done just the opposite. It's like they got a little lunch group in the break room at the Supreme Court, and they get together, and everything that the woman wants to do, they just go on with. She just goes along with it. That's pathetic. It's pathetic.
I think she's susceptible to the suicidal empathy, which a lot of women are. They convolute their idea of what is empathy and compassion, and their compassion sometimes leans too far to not the victim, but to their primary. When they look at the Constitution, they look at a law, and that's right. That 14th Amendment was designed for the slaves that were freed in the United States. They had nowhere else to go. They had to be citizens. You can't, they've been here, 300, 200 years, and they were freed. So that particular, and the judges know this. This is what really gets me, is they know that this law was not for foreign people. It wasn't for Chinese to just come over here and drop a kid and then go back home. It wasn't for illegal immigrants to come from some country, come into the United States, and drop a kid and then go back home in their allegiance to that country that they're from. It wasn't designed that way. And the law is pretty clear about that, what it was for and why. And for the judges to and Barrett, she's in Washington, D.C., she's an academic, and I believe that a lot of her people that she hangs out with, has coffee with, she has they have her ear, those type of people. And she's susceptible to that type of thinking. And although she has made okay decisions on a couple of things, predominantly when it comes down to it, and Roberts is the same thing. He
Same thing.
is friends
Same
and
thing.
buddies with these leftists and these people that have a whole different take on what the Constitution means, what it is, and a living, breathing document. It's not a living, breathing document. It's a pattern. It's a construct idea to keep our freedoms safe.
Safe. Correct, John.
And
Correct.
limit the government and what it can do to its people. And sometimes this living, breathing document idea just screws everybody's perceptions up. And that's why I like, the other ones, Alito and just had a
Clarence Thomas. You got Alito,
Clarence
Thomas,
my favorite. Yeah,
Gorsuch.
I forget his name. He's my favorite.
Yeah.
I forget his name. But
Clarence Thomas.
he's always said there's a North Star, and you got to keep your eye on the North Star, and that's what the Constitution is. You can't deviate from it to fit some kind of liberal idea of way things should be. No, because what's happening now is we're disintegrating.
We're disintegrating, man.
Our country's disintegrating, and it's happening because of our justices and our politicians, because they don't have their eye on the North Star.
I got to ask you a question. You think these people were paid off? You think Roberts and her had been paid off by this left group you're talking about? These people they're having coffee and cokes and dinner with. Do you think there's more of a sinister? Because I get asked this a lot. I try not to go down this rabbit hole, but Tony, I'm going to have to tell you what I've seen over the last 3 to 5 years. Maybe I've been doing this show for 8 years now. I would say since 2020. It's like the old saying goes, I'm not a big believer in ghosts during the day, but at night when things are bumping in my house, I tend to be a little bit more of a believer that something may be out there in the night. Well, as you stay in this stuff that we do go through, and we watch this stuff just play out all the time the same way, I got to tell you, man, I've gotten to the point that I'm beginning to wonder if these people are not paid hacks of Soros and all this bunch. I've been trying not to believe that, but I tell you what, it's hard not to. I'm serious. That's how I'm beginning to become.
The people they hang out with are. That's a
good
problem.
point.
I think people like Clarence Thomas, they stay true to who they are, and maybe Clarence Thomas and Alito, they stay within their circle of people who are somewhat like-minded, but they're very true to themselves. They've not changed one bit. Clarence Thomas has been the same ever since he's been in there, and he if you read his dissents or his writings, they're right with the Constitution hardcore, and he doesn't deviate from it. But they're Roberts and Barrett, they're susceptible to the Washington swamp, I think, and the people that are in it and run it. And they want to be invited to the cocktail parties, and they want to be accepted by their friends. And they know that if they do certain rulings, they're going to be ostracized, and their human nature. Clarence Thomas doesn't care about it, but they may care too much about that, how they're going to be perceived among their friends. So I don't know if it's a paid off thing as much as the friends they hang out with are definitely Soros. I'm hearing that more and more from Roberts and Barrett, the people that they hang out with. And Barrett has young kids that are going to school and college and come home, and talk, and and maybe she's persuaded a little bit by the academic crowd,
Yeah.
and susceptible to it, whereas people like Victor David Hanson, and he's not a Supreme Court justice, but he's able to live within the academic world, but maintain his values hardcore. And that's because he was raised on a farm. He's worked a farm. He's still working a farm. His dad worked a farm. His brothers worked a farm. And the teachings or the writings and the speaking of Victor David Hanson is all about right down to earth, and how that applies, how the working man, how people actually are doing things with their hands, not this academic gobbledygook that a lot of these people are susceptible to. And that, I think that's a problem with the rhinos too.
Right.
They live in Washington. They want to be invited to the cocktail parties, and they talk to their friends. And
Very true. Very true.
so I think it's a Washington thing more so than anything. People outside of Washington think completely different.
I want to read you something by Charlie Kirk, and I'd love to put this in an envelope and send this to Amy Comey Barrett. Charlie Kirk wrote this. I don't know when he actually did, probably right before he died. It's hard to believe we're coming up on the year anniversary of his death. He said, "Imagine if a pregnant lady broke into your house and had a baby in your living room, and then says that she now has a legal right to stay in your house forever."
Yeah.
That is how insane it is, granting birthright citizenship to illegals. Tony, that's just common sense 101 coming from the voice of a martyr. And if that's just common sense, there ain't one of us out here that would put up with that stuff.
No.
But that's what they're telling millions of Americans. They're telling 350 millions of Americans that if they come over here and get pregnant and they have a baby and they're illegal, then we got to keep them. Mm-hmm. Same logic. The same exact logic, brother.
It makes
Unreal.
no sense. They have these institutions over in China, and where surrogate moms are having babies for Chinese people. They're paying them, I think, up to $45,000 per child. So an American citizen has a child here in the United States, pays them 40-some thousand. This is a lot. This is not a small thing.
No, it's not.
So they're having, and then they send them back to China. That all these people, and I heard it's like 100,000 a year or something like that, where Chinese are being born in the United States. They go back to China. Now they're allowed to vote, so they go over, they get indoctrinated in Chinese communism, and then every 4 years they can come over here and vote. They're allowed to vote. In fact, they probably get sent a ballot.
Right. No, absolutely. No, absolutely.
Those are the people that are going to be making decisions for our leaders and our government and our laws. And it's just preposterous that Amy Coney Barrett and Roberts couldn't see that as a problem, especially down the future, when they know that the 14th Amendment didn't mean anything about that. It meant for slavery only. It wasn't talking about anything else. So like I said, there's something really wrong with their decision, and
well, it's just corrupt.
Rectified in the Congress.
Yeah. Well, interesting stuff, and we'll follow this. Couple of other things I want to show you. We got about 20 more minutes with you, and I'm going to just put a couple of your cartoons up, folks. If you're just joining us tonight, we've got the one and only, the man, the legend, Tony A.F. Branco, and he is the one and only greatest cartoonist in the world. This is America 250. I want to get you to be a philosopher here for a minute. As you look back on this country, Tony, what makes you the most proud of this nation, and what makes you the most concerned for it? I mean, we could have just done a 2-hour show on that, because I think another thing that's concerning to me tonight, and I've been really preaching. I've been preaching hard the last few weeks and doing a little screaming when I'm preaching. We got to start being proud of our country again, man. I mean, I'm talking to Christians. I'm talking to people on the right. The morale of this country. There's some people, and I don't mean to offend the MAGA crowd, because I'm MAGA. I love President Trump. It's like that we're proud of being MAGA. We're proud of our party, but we're not proud of our country. And I think that we need to realize that this experiment, this 250-year journey, has not been without problems. And to sit here and say that America's gotten everything right is just not true.
No.
But it's not a place that we have gotten that I would want to live anywhere else in this world, Tony, but right here. I love this country. I'm willing to fight for it. You know, I'm beyond the age of going in the military, but if I was called to pick up arms and defend this country, I'd do it. Mm-hmm. I love this country. I got a young son, a 24-year-old boy that's now in the Air Force, and he's given his next 5 to 10 years of his life to the military, to his country, to serve his country. I couldn't be more prouder of him. And I couldn't be more proud of the military tonight. Couldn't be more proud of ICE. Couldn't be more proud of the police. Things that have been demonized, things that have been mocked, things that have been lampooned, and not just the left, but some on the right. And if we don't understand and appreciate these freedoms that we've got tonight, that were given to us by God, they were not given to us by man. Buddy, we're going to lose them. And once they're gone, we're not getting them back. We're just not getting back.
That's so true. It's funny you said that. You would not like to live anywhere else but the United States, and I feel the same way. But here's the thing. The people who hate this country don't want to live anywhere else either.
That's true. No, that's true.
And that's why we allow these people to come in and denigrate it and yell at it, burn our flag, bring their own flags in and wave them. I'm proud of this country because we tolerate so much. At the same time, I'm a little puzzled by how much we allow and how much we have tolerated. And I don't think we should tolerate all of these illegal immigrants. I think every one of them should be taken out. We can help them get out. We can give them some money to where they can set themselves up, whatever it takes to get them out so that they can't vote. But I'm proud. I was in the military, and I was proud to be in the military.
Right.
And I took my oath to the Constitution seriously back then, even though I was a young kid and didn't fully understand the whole implications of what the oath meant. I look back on it, and at that time I was serious about it. But I'm proud of a lot of things about this country, that it is the greatest place to live, and our Constitution, that our Constitution is different than any other country in the world, and that Constitution doesn't give an outline of what the government can do to us. It gives an outline of what they can't do to us.
So true.
And that's enshrined, and that's what the people who hate this country are trying to disintegrate. They're trying to destroy those, like, for instance, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech has been used and twisted into something else. Freedom of religion has been used and twisted into where you can't use religion in government, although we were founded in Christian principles. But still, we go back to the Revolutionary War, we go back to the War of 1812, we go through Civil War, we go through the Spanish-American War, we go through all these different things. We went through the Vietnam War, where we people back then just were really scared that our country was falling apart then. Every generation has that feeling that our country isn't going to hang on, and it's hung on. But it's not going to hang on unless we fight for it and vote for it.
Very true. Is there anything that concerns you tonight about this country? What's the most concerning thing? I've got your cartoons up, and the reason I'm asking you this, I've got the picture of JFK, the old Democrat Party and the new Democrat Party. Quite a contrast there. But I love this other one even better. You did this a few weeks ago, I think. Check this out. What do you like about the Democrats? And the individual on the right there is they hate Trump. What have the Democrats done for you? And I say the Republicans too. They hate Trump. Why do you defend terrorist countries that kill gays and beat women? They hate Trump. They hate Trump. And this Trump derangement syndrome is going to be the death of this nation. And I'm going to tell you something. That cartoon with JFK, brother, I think we better on the right take heed to this, that the Dems are all in. I heard Jay Paul say this today. And by the way, I even talked about the Gorman girl. I don't know if you saw the hearing of the Gorman girl that got killed in Chicago, just basically watching the stars near Loyola University near the river, got knifed to death by an illegal. Her parents go on Capitol Hill this week. Jay Paul tells the parents yesterday, we've already covered this. We've got better things to talk about than this. Your dead daughter. We got better things to do. Well, that same Jay Paul was asked today about the socialist push of the Dems. And she said, well, Trump knows that people love socialism in this country. And this goes to another question to you. Do you believe, like I do, that if you're foreign-born in this country, along with the women, we don't need no more foreign-born actors in Congress and foreign-born people on the bench and people that are not born in this country? That should be a disqualifier for any office in this land. Period. End of discussion.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. If you're foreign-born and you're an immigrant to this country, you should not be allowed to run for office in this country. And I'm sorry, but you just don't have the allegiance to our country that somebody that's been born here. But we have to go back to the march through the institutions. All these kids are coming out, and I see them. I see them on my threads when I post something. Countless young, they're young, are total Marxists, total communists. And some of the things they say are just atrocious about Charlie Kirk and about killing, about assassinating Trump. But these institutions have become incubators for communism and Islamic sympathizers, Palestine sympathizers. When I went to school, I learned in grade school, civics, I learned about how the evils of communism, how many people were killed by communism in China and Russia. And we had this horrid opinion of what communism is. We knew about Cuba, it destroyed Cuba and its people. We knew all this. But we have to understand, the kids today aren't knowing this. I speak to people in their 30s that have no idea what happened with communism. They think, because if you look at communism on Facebook, oh, it's good. It's you're sharing with your neighbors and you're doing this. They don't understand what it takes to bring about communism and how against human nature communism is.
Yeah.
And it goes to our schools, it goes to our universities, but it goes to our high schools and our elementary schools. Like when we were there, communism was a bad name. It was a bad word. It was something you wanted to stay away from. I don't think they're being taught that. They're being taught LGBTQ and all that kind of stuff you hear about, but they're not putting emphasis on history. And if you're not taught history, you're doomed to repeat it. And I'm afraid that this new generation are going to be doomed to repeat it unless we do something about it.
Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. I couldn't agree more. We hadn't talked in a long time. A quick fire question or two, and then I'll let you go. What is your prediction? Does the Congress fix this birthright? Because Kavanaugh gave them an out yesterday. People may have missed this. It was sort of one of those news stories. But I saw an article, a great article today, that Kavanaugh's dissent against these 5 morons on the court, he basically put in there that Congress can fix this in a simple fix. And he almost gave them the blueprint to do it. Yeah. Do you have faith that the Republicans are finally been shocked? Chip Roy said something, and I'm not a big fan of Chip Roy, I have to tell you, but I do agree with him on this 1,000,000%. I believe that we need to shut this border down, period. Forget this arguing, well, who's supposed to come in, who's not. Even if they're legal, Tony, at this point, until we get this under control, I think Trump needs to shut this border down. All countries do it from time to time. Nobody sues these other. We've done it. We get sued for it. But there's nothing in the Constitution that says we have to open our border.
No.
Other than the absolute insane judges that rule we do. And then we have to wait for the Supreme Court. And look, with this court, I'd be scared to even put it in their hands. But honestly, there's nothing in the Constitution that says President Trump has to open the border. We can shut it down. And in fact, I'd like to ask my audience tonight. We don't have a lot of chatting in there tonight. I think they're scared of the big bad bear man. They shouldn't be. Bear man and cowboy hat. Just remember that. That's my new term. But I would like to ask them tonight, do you think that we should shut our borders down? I think we do. I don't think that we fix this until we do. And
not only should we shut down the borders, we should stop all immigration.
That's what I mean. All immigration,
what
period.
We need and have different guidelines as to who can come into this country. Because what's happening is people without an allegiance to our Constitution and to our history and to our culture are being allowed in. And then eventually, because they become citizens, they're allowed to vote. And they don't know what they're voting for or against, really. They can be easily swayed. And yeah, I agree with you 100%. It should be shut down. I think Eisenhower is the one that shut it down before to reassess. And I think it was him. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're right. No, it was Eisenhower.
He shut everything
He did.
down. And then it was opened up back in the 60s, I think. And if my history's not very good with all that stuff, but
you're right. Your history's better than you may think.
We definitely we first of all, Trump did the right thing by shutting down the government or shutting down the border. They said it can't be done. You need Congress. You need this. No, all you needed was a new president.
That's all you needed.
And he did it. And they were all baffled how he did that. And he did it within a few days. It didn't take months. It didn't take legislation. He was able to do it. And I think that it should continue to happen.
Yeah.
We can't allow this. We can't allow this to happen. Eventually, they're voting. And
yeah. Are you a soccer fan?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Well, I'm not either, but I have to say my son is. I
like it when the United States won.
Yeah, the United States won, and they won this knockout match yesterday. First time in many years they've done that. You know what I've been most proud about is the other countries, how they've reacted to our country, how they've reacted to us here in America. It's been beautiful to me to see how other countries love our country. But what's sad about that is they love our country more than their own people do. And we should.
That's true.
And it's sad. I mean, I'm a Brace fan, and I was watching a video last night of the English team. The English were playing in Atlanta. Atlanta's one of the World Cup places, and the English team was in Atlanta last night singing and doing the tomahawk chop and doing the Braves and enjoying Atlanta baseball. And Tony, why can't we just go back to that time? Are we ever going to get back to that time when everything is simple again? Maybe not. Maybe I'm wishful thinking. But wouldn't it be great just to enjoy life again in this country without all this political correct stuff and this woke and worrying about offending people at the drop of a hat and getting sued? And it's just so toxic right now. And I just don't see we surviving this. If we keep on doing that, we're not even going to survive. We're never going to survive 250, but we're not even going to survive 10 at this rate. If we keep doing this stuff, I'll let you wrap it up on this.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's really puzzling that people that come from different countries, Ireland, United Kingdom, any country, name any country, and they come here and they see what we have here. And they're just elated and they're celebrating. They're having fun, and they drink the whole place in Brooklyn out of beer. And they're just I can't believe what we have here. But I think when you can't contrast what the United States could be like compared to, that's why I think all these communist students and all that, they should go over to Palestine. They should go over to Germany and these different countries and see what it's like. They should go to Cuba, see what it's like before you start raising your communist flag and thinking that's going to go well here. But you're right. I'm really proud of the United States. I'm proud of the soccer team. I don't like soccer that much. I'm a football. If I was a fan at all, it'd be football and baseball. But soccer seems like it just kind of snuck up on us.
Yeah, no, it did, and I mean, but it's funny because our hockey team won this year. It was historic, and there's a chance we got Belgium coming up. That's a tough sell. Well, buddy, listen,
But it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad when you have people in the United States rooting against their own team, rooting for Mexico, rooting for.
Well, they root for America.
The hockey team too.
But Tony, exactly. But the thing is that this is what we've been sort of talking about tonight. Is we celebrate 250. We got an element in this country that's hoping for our downfall.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something. It would not do for me to be president. It just wouldn't. I know that we have allowed this invasion. It's our own fault. I mean, you can't blame these other countries for sending their dregs to us, because these countries are rooting for our downfall. So what better way to destroy us than to send the worst elements into our land and get them in power? Yeah. And it was communist manifesto. It's the communist playbook, man. It's the communist manifesto. We talked about it Friday night. This is not by mistake. It's not by mistake, man. But look, if we're going to survive this next cycle, some things have got to change, and it starts with us securing our borders, securing our elections, and cleaning out the house of these absolute pathetic justices that are legislating from the bench. I don't know how we've got to this point that judges are running the country now. It's not even the president, and it's not Congress. Congress is just a flat tire. They're not doing nothing. And Congress could stop this. And if you think about it, I see it all the time on X, and I just shake my head at it because it's just a bunch of blather. And people are saying, well, they need to be impeached immediately, and they need to be impeached right now. These judges, they're not going to be impeached. They're not going to be impeached because that's Congress's job, and they're not going to be. So it don't matter what they rule right now. And they know that. They know that, and that's why they do the stuff they do. All right, buddy.
Yeah. And they tie up the courts and make sure that it has to go up to the Supreme Court to get overturned, and it's just
takes time. Yeah. It takes time, and they know that. They know that too. But it's been a pleasure. I want to wish you and your family a very, very happy 4th of July weekend, and that you've got a welcome mat at this show forever and forever.
Well, thank you.
Whichever comes first, Chris in a wheelchair or the show ending. I'm not sure which, but I promise I will. Even if I'm in a wheelchair and I'm drinking my spaghetti out of a straw, I'm going to do the Mac Files. It'll just be a little different, and I'll have to have my son over here with hand signals trying to, illustrate
what I'm. One of those electronic voices.
Yeah, I could get one of those electronic voices and try to, keep the fun going. But I just may have to turn into a comedian by then.
The Hawkins.
Yeah, I do the Hawkins thing. But I'm not making fun of you folks in wheelchairs tonight.
No.
I'll get accused of that. Oh, he was just being insensitive to people in wheelchairs last night. No, I'm not being. I'm making a joke. Because I'm in a good mood tonight because I love my country and I'm grateful for it.
Amen.
But I'm grateful for you, buddy. And I want to thank you. I want to say this to you publicly, and I mean this. I know that your job, you have, you've been censored. You've talked to me about some things that has happened to you through the years, but you're always fighting the fight, and I just appreciate what you do. I really do.
Thank
and it's
you.
more than
Likewise.
the deeper it's more than a cartoon to me. Your messages that you're giving this nation, are square on, man. And I know it's not easy doing what you do, and I know that there's a woke element in this country that would shut me and you both down in 3 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I hear from them all the time.
I appreciate you doing what you do. I do, and I hope you keep the fight up and keep the faith, because I know there's one fan out here called Christopher McDonald. I'll be your groupie.
Well, I'm yours. So anyway,
we got one. We at least got one man in our fan club, right? So that's good.
Yeah,
Listen, enjoy your family tonight. Thank you for giving your time to us tonight on this Thursday night. It's been great. We appreciate you, Tony. Tony Branco, everybody. And Comically Incorrect. I got your website right. ComicallyIncorrect.com. It's a great website, folks. You got to look at it. And do you have any new products? You got any calendars coming up or anything?
Not really. You can go to the Branco right now. You can go to the Branco Tune Store, and we're in the process of reconstructing that.
Okay.
And maybe putting in a new store. You can also find me on X at AF Branco.
Okay.
And so Anyway, love to have you guys over there.
Sounds good, man. Listen, I appreciate you. Be safe, man. God bless.
You too, buddy.
Have a good night.
You too.
Tony Branco, everybody. Put some fire in that house. What a good guy. And we so appreciate him being with us tonight. And I know that you enjoyed him. I sure did. He always brings a lot of wisdom to the table. And those cartoons are absolutely the best. There's probably other cartoonists out there, but there ain't but one Tony Branco. That's in my book. And let me reset this. Let me reset. There we go. I don't know what was causing that little glitch. I was looking a little weird there. Somebody said, you don't need a glitch in your computer, McDonald, to look weird. I'll agree with that. That's much better right there. Listen, we're so grateful for you tonight. Now, we've got, we're not going to be on later. We're going to wrap this up here tonight because we've got a special show tonight at midnight. And it's going to be, I'm debating whether to air it here or air it on our Faith Network. It will be on X. It will be on Facebook tonight. With the music, it's going to run the risk of being taken down. I don't know what it is about Facebook and copyrighted music, because we play music as we do the songs, and they like to mess with us. They messed with us last night, and even of all things in the Wednesday night service. So, if you're on Facebook, I encourage you to come to YouTube tonight on the Spirit and Word Fire Network, and we may air it here too. I don't know. We definitely air it on X, and we're going to air it on Rumble. But we're going to have a abbreviated watch of the night watch, spiritual prayer watch. We're not going to go all night. I can't do that. Not this one. We'll do another one where we'll just go all night. But we're going to go to at least 2 or 3 in the morning. And we're going to pray for this country. And we're going to read apostolic prayers like we've done before, mainly for America, for Israel, for the church. We're going to pray. And we're going to seek the Lord tonight, late, after midnight. And while the country sleeps, we're going to pray over it. We're going to pray against these forces of witchcraft. We're going to pray against these forces of darkness. We're going to pray for the future of the country. We're going to pray against this communist takeover. We're going to pray for the country, pray for President Trump. We're going to pray for our government, the Supreme Court, Congress. And we would love for you to come be part of this. It's going to be a great, great night. I could play a bunch of videos, and I don't have time to play them all, but I do want to just show a few of them to you tonight. I don't know if you all saw this. This was incredible yesterday up in North Dakota. I tell you, the president was at the Teddy Roosevelt. The Rough Riders basically accompanied him to that tour of Teddy Roosevelt's library. I'd love to go see that library. There's a few libraries I'd love to see. I'd love to see Reagan's. I'd love to see Nixon's. I'd love to see Trump's when it gets built. But this is the Rough Riders yesterday. That's President Trump right there. He's shaking the hands of all of them. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's the kind of president we got. That's the kind of president we've got, and that's why we love him. I appreciate him very, very much. This is a couple of things. This is President Trump today talking about what he wants to do tomorrow on July the 4th in 106-degree weather.
On July 4th, it's going to be approximately 107 degrees out. And I'm going to go and I'm going to make a really long speech just to show that I can do anything. It's going to be 107. But you know what? They also predicted
They predicted a lot of things. He's going to talk long tomorrow, which is not tomorrow, but Saturday, which is the 4th of July. Saturday will be the 4th of July. I had to turn the volume up so you could hear that. He can't do all things, but he's a good president, and I do appreciate him. This is the murderer, Tim Waltz. He is just as culpable in the rape of that 10-year-old girl as this monster here you're about to see. Tim Waltz needs to be in prison tonight. These judges and these governors and these godless politicians doing this stuff need to be in the electric chair for allowing this stuff to go on and do this stuff. Right there. That's the monster that raped the 10-year-old girl. illegal. And there was a X post given to that, and I should have pulled that up, and I don't have it. I thought I had downloaded that. I just downloaded the video part. I thought it downloaded the other, but it didn't. But that's the monster that raped the 10-year-old girl that Tony was talking about tonight. And Mr. Waltz decided that he needed a pardon simply because he was illegal. Simply because, how do you rape a 10-year-old girl, folks, and not be totally depraved? That's depravity. And that's evil. And it is demonic. Both Waltz and the rapist. Waltz and the rapist. Anyway, good to see everybody. Good to see everybody tonight. And Tony did a great thing tonight. And it is heartbreaking, Susan, for this precious little girl, but nobody's going to do anything to Waltz. They should. This is Senator Kennedy on Iran while we went into Iran. Very telling stuff here. Very important stuff. It was a little bit more dangerous than the media was letting on. We always knew that Trump probably knew more than we did. This is why we went into Iran. Listen.
Our intelligence. Here's what our intelligence showed. And I've seen it. It's classified, but I've seen it. Mm-hmm. But I can give you a general outline. Our intelligence showed that Iran was building up its missile capacity, both ballistic and cruise, and they were going to compile so many missiles and drones that they were going to turn to America and Israel and say, we're restarting our nuclear weapons program. And if you try to stop us, we're going to destroy the rest of the Middle East. And by the way, our missiles can now reach London and Paris, and Germany.
And you saw reports that
I've
said
seen the intelligence.
Okay.
And President Trump was faced, well, do I let them continue? He had already bombed some of their nuclear facilities. Yeah. But he was faced with the decision, do I let them get to the point where they have so many missiles and drones, ballistic and cruise, that they could destroy the Middle East, that they could hit London, that they might even be able to hit the United States, or do I go in to stop them? And he did.
He did the right thing in Iran, folks. I disagreed with his criticism of Israel. I didn't think it was fair. But I told you, even the night we talked about the criticism of Israel, that the principle behind what President Trump did in striking Iran was right. And I've been with him on this. I didn't care about the gas prices. I knew why the gas prices were high. I knew why the gas prices were like they were. And it was okay with me. It was okay with me. I never had a problem with it because of that, what you just heard right there. So all these naysayers and these donkeys, and I got another term for donkey, but that's the sanctified term tonight, that are criticizing the country for doing what's right. Of course, that's a novel idea. Let's do what's right these days. Trump did what was right, folks, with Iran. They were a threat. They were a threat. They're not the junior varsity team. And good stuff there. A couple of other things. This is, let's see here. What did I want to play here? Here is Danny Dolan tonight. This is a story that's not getting a lot of coverage, but it should. The UN relief effort, the UNWRA, they fired 70 people today that had linked to terrorism. This is the group that's been accusing Israel of apartheid and accusing Israel of genocide and withholding aid to Israel, claiming that Israel is the perpetrator. Well, 70 of their members tonight got arrested, not really arrested, but they were fired, they should be arrested, for terrorist ties. Danny Dolan was at the UN today, and he didn't hold nothing back. Roll the tape.
For years, Israel warned that Hamas was inside UNRWA, exploiting its staff, its resources. Now UNRWA itself has fired 70 employees in Gaza over suspected links to terror. No terrorist should ever receive a UN badge, a UN salary, or a UN cover story. We should listen to the victims of terror, and you should listen to the country fighting terror day and night. We must deny them that victory. We must stand together against terror.
Sadly, that speech fell on deaf ears today, but the UN, again, has been revealed for the fraud that it is. 70 of their members with terrorist ties to Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, other terrorist groups, even ISIS and Al-Qaeda, what's left of those groups, were let go today. And Danny Dolan stood in the face of that silence and told the UN, why are you allowing terrorists to run your organization? And of course, the UN has no answer for that because the UN itself is a terrorist organization and we need to defund it and kick it out of the United States. Let them go hold their meetings in the Atlantic Ocean. This is another story that is not getting a lot of press tonight, but you need to know about it. Leaders of the Christian community in southern Lebanon have made an extraordinary appeal for their communities to be annexed, not to the Arabs, but they literally are begging the Lebanese government to annex their Christian region to Israel and be granted full Israeli citizenship, arguing that the real occupier in Lebanon is not Israel, by the way, Mr. President. It's not Israel, by the way, Mr. Vance. The real occupier in Lebanon is Hezbollah. So when the Iranians balk at this MOU and claim that, well, we're not going to do nothing because Israel's occupying Hezbollah, we'll just bomb them into next month. Don't care. Let them beat their pitchforks. Let them beat their forks on the table and spit their peas out. It don't matter. They're lying. No, Israel ain't the problem. Israel's not the problem. Here's the video of this. This guy's going to speak. You have to read the caption. He's speaking in Lebanese, so you're not going to be able to understand him. I'm going to put this up big so you can see the captions. Watch the captions.
רצועת הביטחון שצה"ל תפס בדרום לבנון כוללת בעיקר עיירות וכפרים שיעים, אבל יש בה גם כמה יישובים משמעותיים של המיעוט הנוצרי בדרום לבנון. ועל רקע ההתפתחויות הדרמטיות בגזרה, לאחרונה פנו מנהיגים מהקהילה הזו לנציגי צה"ל עם בקשה יוצאת דופן שישראל תספח את הכפרים שלהם ותעניק לתושביהם אזרחות ישראלית לכל דבר ועניין. מדובר בבקשה רגישה מאוד, מאחר שחיזבאללה טוען לכל אורך הדרך שמטרתה האמיתית של ישראל היא לספח ללא הגבלת זמן את כל המרחב שהיא תפסה בדרום לבנון ואף יותר מכך. על הרקע הזה התשובה שקיבלו המנהיגים הנוצרים היא שהדבר הזה אינו על הפרק, מאחר שהוא סותר את מזכר ההבנות שהושג מול הממשלה בביירות, ושיחד עם זאת צה"ל יגן עליהם ככל שידרש מפני חיזבאללה ומפני האוכלוסייה השיעית. מבחינת ישראל יש גם פן חיובי לפנייה הזו, מאחר שהיא מקריסה עלילת דם שנפוצה לאחרונה בעיקר בקרב חוגים מסוימים בימין הנוצרי האנטי-ישראלי בארצות הברית, לפיה ישראל כביכול פוגעת בנוצרים בדרום לבנון על רקע דתי.
And I hope you saw what he said there, folks. Certain right-wing hate groups are alleging that Israel is harming Christians in southern Lebanon. That totally debunks that. Totally debunks that. That's another lie. It wasn't by the left that was perpetrating that, folks. That's right-wing voices. And I want to just say this. It busts the anti-Semites argument that Israel hates Christians. Look at the Lebanese Christians who are under attack right now, not by their own government, by Hezbollah. And look, you got to pretty much hate your country if you want another country. So that'd be like Texas. I'm just using this as an example. That'd be like Texas getting so fed up with the United States, it would petition the government to be annexed by Mexico. And, you know, that's how bad things have gotten in Lebanon because of Hezbollah. But it speaks to the bigger issue. Israel's not anti-Christian, folks. They're not anti-Christian. It's a lie. It's just a lie of the devil. It's a lie of these anti-Semitic voices, these Jew-hating people that have no conscience, no morals, absolutely no morals. They're liars, hypocrites, snakes, vipers. I'll just name them. Ignorant, spiritual wretches, ignorant wretches. That's all a lie. The real occupation is Hezbollah, folks. The real occupation in Israel right now is Hamas. Israel still ain't cleaned out Hamas because they've had their hands tied by the international community and sadly some of by the United States. If Joe Biden's government would have shut up and let Israel do what it needed to do, that Hamas situation would have been handled. And it may have been a little bloody. And I remind you tonight, folks, you attack a nation like Hamas did Israel. You don't get to dictate the terms of your destruction. You don't get to dictate the terms of Israel's response. You don't get to claim genocide when you're the one that perpetrated the genocide on Israel on October the 7th. I hate to tell you, sweetheart. Hate to tell you, Pop-Tart. Hate to tell you, terrorists. I hate to tell you, infidels. Listen to me, neighbor. You don't get to dictate how you get destroyed. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. And I say it to Hezbollah tonight. Everything that Israel has done in southern Lebanon has been justified because Hezbollah has been digging tunnels under schools and tunnels under hospitals. Not that your anti-Semite buddy that posts on X every day, smoking their joint and smoking their weed and being meth, spiritually on spiritual meth because they listen to right-wing hardcore websites that hate Israel. And they get their news from X something or whatever it is. I almost said something I shouldn't have said. They get their news from these left-wing and right-wing loons instead of just listening, by the way, to the Bible and listening to their conscience to understand that Israel has to do what they've got to do to defend themselves. That story busts every lie that you should ever, whenever you hear that Israel hates Christians, folks, that story right there should tell you that is what you, when you're being told that's a lie. That is a lie being perpetrated by Satan to get people to hate Israel. All righty, y'all gone quiet on me again. I'm going to give you a chance to speak now. I'm going to give you a chance to speak now. If you've got something to say, take off. Take off. I got other videos off while I'm waiting on you to speak tonight. Talk about some of this stuff. I'm going to put a few other things up because it's very important. This is this is John Fetterman tonight on the future of the Democrat Party. It's not good. Roll the tape.
Now, for me, what my real concern is the Democratic Party is going to put it into the platform, as an anti-Israel party, that Israel does not have the right to defend itself and to exist. And the second that becomes a formal part of our platform, and that's the one thing that would push me out of this party, because I'm deeply alarmed the way the Democratic Party is going after Israel and allowing to just rank anti-Semitism to flourish, in the left on the campuses as well too.
Yep. And that's exactly right. We're about to gain a Republican in Fetterman. I don't think Fetterman's going to be much longer with this Democrat Party. I don't. I think he is about to head over to the right. Maybe wrong about that, but we'll see. This is the most disturbing thing I saw today. Not the most, but don't take a genius. It don't take a color crown book to draw this in crayon for who hates the country and who don't. Roll tape.
Chance to win the Senate. The Republican chances, as you noted, John, the environment is getting a little bit better for Republicans. On May 1, Republicans had a 51% chance to take back the Senate. Now it's a 59% chance. Look, Democrats have a shot here. There are seats on the table, but the fundamentals are against them. And that right now, they're only one of the seats where they need to be. The mathematical problem is there for Democrats at this point. They simply put, have a statistical math problem.
They got a statistical meth. He said math. They got a statistical meth, M-E-T-H, because they're out of their mind electing these insane communists and insane socialists. I thought that video was the one about the 60-something% that hate the country, 90% that don't like the country. But anyway, very interesting. By the way, I saw this meme tonight. It's not a meme. Netanyahu said this a couple of days ago. He said every single Palestinian that crossed this fence on 9 or 10/7 will be killed. And I'm going to say it again tonight, folks. I know that just shakes some of you up, and Netanyahu's bloodthirsty, and he's got blood on his hands. Well, that fence right there was used to be broken through, to rape, to murder, to pillage, to burn babies, to kidnap families, kill people in cold blood. So, Palestinians, listen to Uncle Chris. You did this. You made this. You started this. Israel needs to finish it. They still need to finish it tonight. And to me, I've got no sympathy. None. None for the group of Hamas. Do I have sympathy for the Palestinian people? A little. But I'm going to tell you something. The Palestinian people put the Hamas terrorist group, they elected that group to lead them folks in the Gaza. And they were rejoicing. We're going to revisit 10/7, October the 7th this fall. We're going to revisit 9/11. We're 25 years. You realize that this coming September will be 25 years ago that we experienced. And by the way, that same Palestinian group, when all that happened on 9/11, you know what they were doing? They wasn't mourning America. No, they were applauding they were applauding these hijackers and bombers. I never will forget Colin Powell. And somebody confronted him with that in a press conference. And his response was pathetic. He basically looked at the reporter and he said, well, we can't confirm those stories. And the reporter was literally playing the video of the people dancing in the streets in the Gaza Strip when America got attacked in 2001. So, does Chris have any sympathy that every Palestinian that crossed this fence, I pray for their soul? But as far as having sympathy for their fate, I do not. I pray they find Jesus. As a Christian, I pray they find Jesus. I got no sympathy. You cannot dictate the terms of your destruction. When you perpetrate and do what you did, you cannot dictate the terms of your destruction. Sorry, you just can't. That's what's wrong with our nation tonight. We're allowing our enemies to dictate the terms of our destruction instead of us dictating the terms of theirs. And I'll leave that be. I'll leave that be for now. Anyway. Stephen says, I say good luck on Stephen Final White. I say good luck on getting Congress to win birthright citizenship because they could not even agree on how to tie their shoes. Stephen, I'm not going to disagree with that. That is very true. That is extremely true. Get to see the court rights in the House tonight. Most of you over on Facebook telling us to shut the border down. I'm with you on that. Good to see Pat and Deb Dolan. Pat, I wonder if somebody, too, has something on Roberts. I've been told they do. We'll see. Eric Metaxas, who is not a conspiracy theorist, he was out there yesterday saying there's going to be some revelation coming this week. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I know this much. What happened in that Supreme Court yesterday was one of the worst decisions we've probably been handed in years, other than the abortion issue of 1973. I mean, it's not the same. It's killing of babies is brutal. But what they did basically is we committed suicide as a society. It was constant, as Elon Musk called it, it was cultural suicide yesterday. When you allow people to do that and manipulate, isn't it crazy that two of the somewhat most horrible decisions have to do with babies? That sort of tells you something about the spirit behind the Supreme Court, don't it? It's terrible. But anyway, all right, listen, I've got more, but, it's the 4th of July. I want to just say a few things tonight before I leave you. I want to say it again, sort of reiterate what I said last night. I said it this morning on our Bible study, and please be with us. We will be with you in the morning. If I was going all night on this prayer watch, I was probably going to cancel the Bible study, but we're going to probably go to about 2 or 3 in the morning, and I stay up. That's just a normal night for Chris, so I'll be okay tomorrow. That's normal for me, and I would rather be praying for the country with you, but I want you to appreciate your country this 4th of July. Some of you won't see me again. I know some of you can't be with us tonight. Maybe you can't be with us tomorrow. You're off and vacationing or whatever. I just want to tell you, we're grateful for our nation. I thank God for this country. I thank God for our leaders. I know we've got some bad leaders. We got some good leaders. We got some in-between leaders. I know we get frustrated with these processes. I know we get frustrated with our politicians and the government, and as we should sometimes. I'm not saying we shouldn't. But folks, let us never forget this, that God has designed this nation for specific things in these end times. We still can see a change. We can still see revival. And I am seeing more and more people express faith publicly. I'm seeing these teams pray. Our U.S. soccer team, after every game, they're kneeling in the middle of the field. They're praying. Public baptisms, public displays of faith by ball players, public displays by people you wouldn't even know about and hear about and think about. But there something is happening inside. And I do believe that God is moving in the hearts of many people. Our institutions, however, are lagging a little bit behind in that. We still can see God change the government, but we got to pray. But we cannot also forget there are enemies of freedom. There's always been enemies of freedom to this country from the day we started that Revolutionary War. 250 years ago, this weekend, we really ended it. It was the Declaration of Independence that we're celebrating Sunday or Saturday. The war had been raging for about a year. The first shots were fired April the 14th and 15th in 1775. I'm watching Fox Nation, and Kelsey Grammer's got an excellent series called Patriot Wars. I encourage you to watch that. It's really good stuff. And go see Young Washington this weekend. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and we're planning to see it. And I want us to be proud again of our country. And if you can't be proud, don't tear it down. Just don't tear it down. Pray for it. You don't like something's going on, don't bellyache and murmur about it. Take it to the Lord. Ask Him to help the country. Pray for the country. Pray for President Trump. You got a personal thing with Trump, have your personal thing if that knocks your socks off. But at least pray for him, okay? At the very least you can do is pray for him. And, if you don't like the way he's running the country, well, guess what? You've got a chance in November of 2028 to vote for the other side. If you want to vote for the Commies, then vote for the Commies. That's what your choice is. And if you think somebody can do a better job than what President Trump's doing, then you find that candidate and you vote. What people are doing, stupidly, they're not voting at all. Our side. I don't care how bad the Democrats have gotten, folks. None of this matters if we don't vote in November for these midterms. None of this will matter. It will go away. And the same people that don't vote will be bellyaching about the conditions of the government, the conditions of the country on a different level. We call that hypocrisy. If you're not going to vote, stop bellyaching. Stop complaining. If you're not going to participate in your government and pray for your government, pray for your leaders, stop bellyaching. And I say that with all due respect tonight and love. I'm proud that this country is 250 years old. I'm grateful I'm alive to see it. I won't be alive to see the next 250 if the Lord tarries that long. I'm probably not going to be alive the next 50 if the Lord tarries that long. But I've seen the 200 and I've seen the 250. And I wouldn't live anywhere else in this country. And I pray that this slide that we're seeing right now is just a blip. It's not going to be the permanent fix on America's future of this communist push, because that is going to affect more than just us politically. It's going to affect us spiritually. And we can't afford that right now in these last days. God bless you. God bless your families. God bless this great nation of America. Happy 4th of July. Our schedule is as follows. Bible study in the morning. Prayer watch tonight. Now, if we come on at all tomorrow, we will not be on tomorrow night. But we will be on maybe tomorrow afternoon to do a short Celebrate America special with music and some videos and things like that. And so join us for that. Sunday morning, though, at 10 o'clock, we will be having a special America Sunday morning gathering time. Very patriotic. And the Lord's given me a message. I'm working on it right now. It is deep. It is convicting. And I'll just put it like this. I encourage you to be with us Sunday morning. The Lord has spoken to my heart to speak to the nation, to the church, and to us as individuals. And it's something that He gave me yesterday, and I was going home, driving home. It was a very solemn drive home, hearing the Holy Spirit speak the things He did to me as to what God's feeling about this country. And we're going to share some of them. We're going to share a few things in the morning on our Bible study at 10, the Lord willing, or 9:30. We may go a little early. But whatever you do, please be with us over the weekend. And I wanted you to celebrate America Saturday with your family. We love you. We thank you. We're grateful we're Americans. Kathy and I love every one of you. And I'm thanking God tonight for my wife. I thank God for my kids. Thank God for my grandkids. Thank God for this nation. I thank God that I'm saved. I thank God that this country is God. Our God is the Lord. Our God in this country is not Allah. I'm thankful to God for the families that are still out there trying to fight for this country. I'm thankful for the voices like Tony Branco and James Akers and Ricky Wilson and Leslie Milwee, Magdalene Rose, and others that are out there fighting the fight. Brad Johnson, Eric Caron, Judge Sarah Lynn Allen, all these great guests that we've had through the years, people that have been people of faith, solid faith people, solid conservative people. We've had some new guests this year, and we're going to get some of them back on. We've asked them to come back. Some of them have not responded. Some of them have. And it's okay if they don't want to come back. It's nothing. We don't take it personal these days. But whatever the case is, I'm just thankful tonight for you. And we appreciate you so much. You've heard me say this through the years, and I feel led to say it tonight on this 4th of July weekend. As you get older, your perspective on things changes. I remember I was, again, in the 5th grade when we celebrated the 200th anniversary of America in 1976. I'm 61 now, and your perspective changes as you get older, and you lose things, and you lose people in your life, and you lose relationships, and things go south sometimes, and we take wrong turns, and we lose our way, and we try to find our way back to God, and we try to find our way back to some civility and sanity. And we take things for granted when we're younger. But I can tell you this tonight, in all this journey with you for these last 8 years, I may have taken some things for granted in the past, but one thing I've never taken for granted is you being out here every night with me. And I'm grateful for every one of you that has been with me on this journey. I don't care how long you've been with me, short, middle, long. We're grateful for you. And I pray you'll stick with us on this journey ahead. I don't plan on stopping, at least not right now, Lord, unless He has something different. But we're still going to be on here encouraging, exhorting, edifying, fighting, and doing what we got to do. And we may not have the big numbers, but it don't matter. For those that listen to us, it does matter. And that's who we're here for those that want to hear us and speak. God bless you. God bless your families. And God bless this great nation of America. Have a good night, everybody. Happy 250th anniversary to this great country from the MacFiles family to you tonight. Happy birthday, America. And God bless you. I'm going to play that beautiful song that we played earlier tonight. I tell you, that was such an absolutely beautiful rendition. I love that song. I want you to listen to this as we go out tonight. May this song touch your heart, and I'll see you back here later tonight at 12 midnight on the Faith Network for a midnight watch of the Lord, praying for America. Be with us tonight, okay?
It ain't that purple mountain's majesty. It ain't the fruited plain. It ain't that shimmering sunset out on amber waves of grain.
It's the shoulders of people from 1,000 lands who showed up with nothing but dreams in their hands and built something beautiful. Yeah, they still make it beautiful.
You can say what you want, you can throw stones, but on her worst day, it's still home sweet home. You can't kill the idea that put its roots deep down in dust and blood.
Done a whole lot of bending, but you can't make her break. Hello, high water. If you wanna know what keeps this crazy thing standing up, it's the United States of America.
We've got our share of scoundrels, outlaws and clowns, cowboys and preachers, love one-horse towns, big city white collar, bright lights and big shiny cars.
We've got farmers on tractors that keep us all fed. The north and the south, the blue and the red, they make something beautiful. Man, those colors are beautiful.
You can say what you want, you can throw stones, but on her worst day, it's still home sweet home. You can't kill the idea that put its roots deep down in dust and blood.
Done a whole lot of bending, but you can't make her break. Hello, high water, that flag's gonna wave. If you wanna know what keeps this crazy thing standing up, it's the United States
of America. From the Bible belt buckle to the streets with no church, it's hard to explain it, but somehow it works.
And I dare you to find me a soldier more brave than the ones who salute stars and stripes every day.
You can say what you want,
You can throw stones,
but on the worst day,
it's still home sweet home.
you can't kill the idea
They put its roots deep down in dust and blood.